Myself Utkarsh. Today I and my team will discuss about our project Cloud-based video stream. Further, we will talk about the components required in streaming via cloud, deployment using AWS, network and cost analysis, and in last a small conclusion. Starting with the term streaming. Streaming is used to describe continuous, never-ending data stream with no beginning or no end that provide a constant feed of data that can be utilized, acted upon without needed to be downloaded first. Live streaming is when the streaming video is sent over the internet in real time without first being recorded and stored. Today, TV broadcasts, video game stream, and social media video all are live stream. The term live stream is usually referred to broadcast live stream, one to many connection that can go to multiple users. Now, we need to set up an enterprise grade live video streaming which can scale and is flexible enough for different type of device with different capabilities. For example, one device may have a slow connection to stream at only 144p. Then it will require different package video stream. So we have to set up a system which is flexible for that. Also, we can archive, enable live caption and monitor the live stream. Further, we will talk about the components in streaming via cloud. Streaming video is divided into smaller segments, a few seconds in length. Next, the segmented video data is compressed and encoded. The data is compressed by removing the redundant visual information. Once the live stream is segmented, compressed, and encoded, it need to be made available to the dozen or million of viewers who want to watch it in order to maintain the high quality with minimum latency while serving the stream to multiple viewers in different locations. A CDM network, content distribution network, is used for that, which can be shown in the figure 1. Now, a CDM will also cache, temporarily save each segment of live stream. So most of the viewer will get the live stream from the cache instead of the original server. The CDM send the live stream to all the users who are watching the stream. Each user device receive, encode, and decompress the segmented video data. Now, I would like to call Shubham to explain further the different components of streaming via cloud.
Hi, I'm Shubham Pawal. So as explained by Utkarsh about the components, the first main component is taking the input and sending it to the cloud for all the other steps. So input is basically raw video data captured through a capturing device or software. This captured video can be transmitted using various open source and paid softwares. For our use, we have used the highly rated open source software OSB Studio. Using this, we capture our laptop screen in 1080p Full HD at 60 frames per second and transfer it using real-time message protocol to the encoder using the URL and user ID password provided by AWS. So as you can see, this is a screenshot of OBS Studio software through which we can set how our stream should look like, from which device audio should be captured, and various other things. Now coming to the second component, the encoding and compression. Compression of the stream removes the redundant visual information in the stream. For example, if the first frame of the video displays a person talking against a gray background, then the gray background does not need to render for any subsequent frames that have the same background. This compression can be of different extents, that is, multiple output are produced with different compressions, like a 1080p stream is compressed into a 240p streams. This compressed output is encoded in a digital format like H.264 or HEVC that variety of device support. Further, now I will be explaining the detailed step in creating an encoder for a stream using Elemental Media Live. So Elemental Media Live is an encoder service provided by AWS. It encodes live input in two pipelines, and one main and other is redundant into multiple compressed outputs. So for our case, we have used RTMP input channels as explained previously, which is encoded in 10 different output group of different resolutions. The figure explains the step-by-step process of creating a channel. Now I would like to hand over it to Ritik Bansal.
Hi, I'm Ritik Bansal. I'll be explaining the packaging part. So first of all, the packaging is done to make it's suitable for the playback device to decode the stream and play it. So here we have used a just-time packager or JITP, and it generates packages of output based on the devices requesting the content by automatically detecting the playback resolution, which depends on the client bitrate obviously. Like for example, if a person has a greater bandwidth, then a higher resolution stream will be delivered. So AWS provides a JITP using Elemental Media Package Service. So I'll explain the detailed steps in the next slide. Yeah. As you can see from the flow diagram, the step-by-step action required for setting a media packager using AWS is shown in this particular diagram. So we start by creating a new channel and a set name and ID for the channel. So initially when we create a channel, so what we'll do is we'll create a new channel by using a name and an ID for that particular channel. We can also enable access logging, which allows us to monitor the live stream. So also the CDN, the content delivery network, which will be discussed later on, so is enabled for a wide high performance delivery. So doing all these steps, we have successfully created a channel. Now we have to attach an endpoint to this channel. Sorry. So here we'll be attaching an endpoint to the channel, which is basically the URL from which we'll be able to view the stream. So after setting up the name and the ID, we have set HLS protocol and set the segment length to be 6 seconds. So this is the length in which the stream will be segmented for delivery. And we have also added a delay of 60 seconds in the live stream and actual view. Okay, just for the demo. After this, we have to add the two outputs to MediaLive and to the media package using the user ID and password provided by the media package initially here that we set it up there. After doing this, we have successfully set the live stream for viewing. We can also add a harvest job. So the harvest job is used for storing the live stream to Amazon S3. Now Abhinav will explain about the CDN, the content delivery network. Thank you.
Hello, I am Abhinav Tiwari and I will be explaining CDN. CDN is nothing, it is a content delivery network, it is a geographically distributed network of servers which provide high availability and performance by distributing servers near to the users. As told before, CDN is a very important part of delivery of live stream. It enables catching the stream, providing the users a much lesser response time. Though using this increases the cost, but the foreign live stream viewed globally, this is a necessary addition. The AWS CloudFront CDN can be enabled when creating a channel in the media package, which creates a distribution ID which can be managed. Through this, we can set geo restrictions like we want some region to not have access to a stream or not, and then it can be done very easily. So, and also we can blacklist or whitelist certain IP address as per our need that we want to give more access to this IP address, or we doesn't want this IP address to access uh, the performance by at all. So thank you. Now Tanmay will continue.
Hello, so this is Tanmay Gwalera, and I'm going to be discussing in detail the flow diagram of this entire process. So, as explained earlier, this depicted flow diagram is the summary of the entire process. So, firstly, we push a stream using a real-time messaging protocol, which is the RTMP protocol, in 1080 pixels resolution and 60 frames per second. Which is an input to an Elemental Media Live, which processes the input stream into two pipelines. One is the main pipeline and the other one is a redundant pipeline. So after that, the packager inputs the encoded live stream of different resolutions set by the output groups. The input goes through an HTTP live streaming protocol, or HLS for short, which was developed by Apple. So after that, the packager is an just-in-time packager, which only packages when there is a request from a playback device. This packaged output is streamed via HLS or HTTP live streaming protocol and cached by CloudFront or CDN. The package file is then finally decoded at the playback device. So moving on further, now for the experimentation part, we have done it on the basis of network parameters and cost. So firstly, we are going to discuss on the basis of network parameter analysis. So here we deal with two components. The first one is ingress and the other one is egress. So ingress is the network traffic which enters the cloud from a source. In our case, it's the input stream pushed by the OBS Studio. Whereas egress is the network traffic which exits the cloud for an output request, which is then played into the playback device. Now, based on these two components, we have logged 4 parameters using CloudWatch. So all those 4 components are, the first one is ingress bytes, which is the transfer rate of data entering into the cloud. Then we have the ingress response time, and then we have the egress bytes, which again is the transfer rate of data, but this time we are exiting the cloud. So the transfer rate of data which is exiting the cloud. Then we have the egress response time, which is basically similar to a ping. So moving on to the next slide, we have the results here. For a 1080 pixels, 60 frames per second stream, the parameters that we see are the ingress bytes is 125 MB per minute, and the ingress response time is 200 milliseconds. Whereas the egress bytes or the transfer rate of exiting the cloud is 85 MB per minute, and the egress response time is 124 milliseconds. Here, I just want to clarify that the MB is in reference to megabytes, not bits. Okay.
Hello, I am Ansh Mehta and I will be explaining the cost analysis of our whole stream setup. So, the setup explained above has some free and some chargeable services from day one. Like some services like CloudWatch, the CloudFront have some free tier of 5 GB data, and after that it's paid. So, and some services like Media Live and Media Packager are chargeable from day one. So, here's a breakdown of the services which are chargeable from day one. Like the channel output of the Media Live is chargeable at $7.7 per hour of usage, and the channel input is also chargeable as such in the table shown. Also, there is a charge for an idle input. Like if there is no stream going on but a channel is set up, so they take an idle charge also of $0.01 per hour. Also, the media package, how much byte is it is ingesting and how much byte it is ejecting is also chargeable according to per GB. So when we calculated through the table in the AWS website for an 1080p stream for an hour to 1,000 users, we had an estimated cost of around $250 for that stream. So while doing this project, we had set up these channels and other things. So we were charged by AWS of around $13 and for GST of $2. Right. So now I will be showing you a demo of how all the AWS things that we have created. So firstly, this is our input software, which we capture our stream and start streaming it to it. Start streaming. So if we go into setting and go to stream, so this is our server URL from to which the input will go, and this is our stream key. And so through this, it will go to the AWS Elemental Media Live from this software. So and also we can change the input accordingly, and if you want to resize, if you want to add another device, and how the audio should be captured, all can be changed here. So now I will be showing you the demo of Elemental Media Live, how we have created a channel. So here's a channel I have created, test, and we have specified a role, which is a Media Live access role. we can set roles. If it's a big conversation, we can specify the roles of who can access this channel and edit this channel. And also we have created multiple output groups in which the video will be encoded. And here's the details. We have also attached an input here, from which the OBS Studio will stream ingest the input to. And here's the input, and here's the port number in which input will be given to. And so that's about the Elemental Media Live. Now about the Elemental Media package. So Elemental Media package is the packager just-in-time package which is responsible for the delivery of the stream. So here we have the inputs, which is the input of the media package. So this input is automatically, so if we go into a channel and we see destination, so Elemental Media Live will ingest its output in two pipelines to these two URLs. So pipeline 0 will output to this URL, and pipeline 1 will output to this URL. And these are the username, ID and password for the ingestion. And also we have to create an endpoint from which we can view our stream. So we have two streams, normal stream and a CloudFront stream, which is the cached URL. So these are the two URL, and we can specify much more things in an endpoint. So in this endpoint we have the ID, and we can also name an ID, and we can also set the segment duration. The stream will be segmented into chunks, and we can set the duration of the chunks and also select the protocol in which it will be streamed. Also we can we can have a delay in the stream, which we have set to a 60 seconds, which is a delay in the live stream and the actual viewership. Also we can encrypt the contact as per our requirement, which is the digital rights management, in which we see in Netflix, which is the encrypted content which cannot be downloaded or screen recorded. So we can also enable in that are in our stream. We can also restrict the IP addresses for which we don't want the IP address to watch the stream. So that's about the endpoint. And we can also create an harvest job, which is the saving the archiving the stream in Amazon S3. Also we have enabled the access logging, which is the ingress and the egress access logs, which can be viewed in CloudWatch. And also we have enabled the CloudFront distribution, which is the content delivery network. And we can set geo restriction in here as I show you. So these are the geo restriction. We can enable the geo restrictions, and we can also set the types where it can go. So this is about our project, and that's it. Thank you. Next, so this was all our work, and concluding it. So we have shown detailed steps involving the live video stream with all the protocols available for an enterprise grade streaming, which can be viewed globally. And this live stream which we had set up, can be combined with many other AWS services like AWS S3, which is the storage part that can archive the live streams. And also we can use the AWS Lambda, which is an edge computing unit of AWS, which can provide live captioning and also provide analytics to users and provide interactions to users while watching the stream. So also we had calculated the cost I showed previously, and this was our work, and also estimated our network parameters. So this was our work, and this was the references. We used the documentation of and some research paper, and so this is our individual contribution. Thank you.